It's a BumbleKast Mini, sponsored by Nate Ray.
All right, here we go. This is going to be an Espio and Silver Mini. We're shipping again, so hop on board.
Okay, same disclaimer as the other ones. Is I do not endorse. I am not a proponent of this in an official capacity. This is just questions, theory crafting. Do not is word of God or indicative of Sega. Please do not get me in trouble by going nuts online. Having fun here, okay?
We're just going to have a good time.
Just general conversations between consenting chameleons and hedgehogs.
I'm not opposed to this ship, to be honest with you. But
okay. That's
just me. All right, who would catch feelings first, and how would they approach it?
That's actually a good question, because Espio, I think, is so hung up on being the cool ninja that I feel like he's a bit detached from his actual feelings. Like it would be hard for him to recognize what he is actually feeling. Whereas Silver, I would think, for all of his openness and naivety, is hesitant to make new friends because he's used to seeing them die.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to make connections after a point, but he is also, clearly desperate to make connections because he's a people person. He likes other people. He wants to be around other people. He wants to protect people. He is definitely in touch with what he thinks and he feels for himself. So I guess it would be him first, or at least he would acknowledge it first.
Yeah. How long would it take Vector to figure out Espio's new crush?
As long as it takes to not make the punchline tired.
Yeah, as long as it takes for it to be funny.
He's a good detective. He'd figure it out. It wouldn't take him too long.
Yeah.
We would just need enough time for a funny montage of Espio clearly not realizing what he's feeling and Vector picking up the cues and kind of going,
What would Vector think about it?
Oh, he's fine with it. I mean, Silver's from the future. If you guys get close, does he know any lotto numbers there?
Does he have a
I hope you two hook up. Is he going to hook us up? You know what I'm saying?
Does he have a sports almanac? Does he have a cool car from the future that can fly? I need that, please. Would Silver ever pick up on Espio's attempts at flirting, or would he just assume that's what their dynamic is as friends?
I think the latter one. That's way more entertaining.
That is funnier, yeah.
And again, I don't think Espio is particularly good at expressing his feelings, so his attempts to approach Silver are not going to go very well regardless.
No, they I think either one, with both of them, you kind of have to be like very much like to be on the nose. You can't be subtle.
Also, remember Silver met Mephiles, this mouthless hanging marionette of a shadow creature, and said, "Yeah, this guy sounds trustworthy." He can be a little slow on the uptake.
Yeah. Yeah, Silver's kind of like, Silver's not necessarily the best judge of character all the time. But that's why we love him. How would a confession scenario between each other be if you were forced to write it? It can be Sega approved or not, like right now. I'm trying to be funny, Ian.
I don't know, it kind of depends on the scenario. Like, if Espio just finally gets frustrated with the situation and himself and just comes right out and says it. If Silver realizes that that's where Espio is trying to go and is struggling and offers to help him out. If Vector and Charmy, with good intentions, try to move things along, which leads to hilarious disaster and, a blurted confession, which catches everybody off guard. That might be the most on point.
Yeah.
I think whatever the scenario would have to be, I feel like for this group, and yeah, I feel like it's really hard to disconnect Vector and Charmy from this scenario. Uh, it needs to be funny but heartfelt.
Right.
Something that makes you go, ha ha, aw.
Yep. So and I think that's kind of why I can see this working, is because that sort of dynamic is I like that sort of dynamic.
I'm not really into rom-coms, but I feel like this is where it's headed.
It's sort of, yeah, but not like you don't have to go too
rom-com.
You don't have to go too crazy with it, you know. How would Silver and Espio make a relationship work with the long distance 200 years?
Tempted to rip off Futurama, where there was a time travel episode and Leela ends up carving out a sequence in a cave so that by the time Fry sees the resulting stalactites, it's a message from her across the ages.
Yeah, that's kind of funny, but also kind of sad.
Well, that's, the whole point of these.
But yes.
long distance relationships are hard.
Can confirm.
There's a poignancy to them. So, if we're drawing narrative parallels here, it's a distance of 200 years. Maybe Silver finds this weather-beaten, fallen apart book of romantic haikus, and they're all Espios devoted to him. And he manages to get through the whole book, except the last page cuts off halfway through, and he's like, oh, no, you don't. And just brings Little Planet down with his TK powers, grabs the time stones, goes back in time. What was that last one? No, Espio's hasn't been written the first page yet. I don't know.
What are you talking about? Ah, crap. So it's like, ah, crap, I went back too far.
Gives him the original torn up book, and that's the inspiration for writing it in the first place.
Oh no, it's a stable time loop. Silver, what have you done? It's no use. It's no use. How might the Chaotix act if Espio were in a relationship? As in, would they get overprotective, or would he simply not care, etc.?
Depends on how much Vector's able to deduce. If he figures out just that Espio's pining for someone, then he's going to go full overprotect a mama bear.
Yeah.
Who are they? Where are they from? They have a good job. Do they respect you?
Do they have money? Can they pay the bills?
How generous are they? Once he figures out it's Silver, it's like, oh yeah, no, it's fine. They know Silver. He can trust Silver. They've worked with Silver. Yeah.
Silver's a cool guy.
Yeah.
Vector's
bring him on the team, and if he's part of the family, he won't ask to be paid, right? Charming, I think, is
Silver doesn't understand the concept of money. He's 200 years in the future, where he's the only person left.
Yeah, the economy had collapsed 50 years before I was even born, so. And Charmy's still the young, obnoxious phase where it's teasing and being obnoxious, but it's not like he's morally against it. Espio has a boyfriend. Why are you mocking me? Oh. Because he's a child, that's why.
Yeah, pretty much. What would their first date be like? And does Silver enjoy Espio's poor attempts at poetry? He literally does not know how poetry works.
Maybe that's the beauty of that book that transcended times. He finally learned.
He learned how haikus work, at least.
I think they travel, sightsee. Silver hasn't seen necessarily a world with a functioning infrastructure or intact buildings. So just going out and exploring, whether it's the mundane downtown or one of the highlight cities of the world, just going out and seeing and interacting with people, that would be right up Espio, right up Silver's alley. And then Silver might eventually put two and two together and go to some kind of Japanese historical site, which would be right up Espio's alley. So they'd be like museum goers and art gallery viewers and that kind of thing.
Silver would be fascinated by, like, clean water and food. Just food in general. What would their relationship spats look like? Sounds chaotic if your partner is psychic or a ninja.
I just imagine Espio would be like the broody, silent type.
Yeah.
He's mad, and he's not going to tell you why he's mad. You should know already, especially if you're psychic.
Is Silver technically psychic? I thought he was just psychokinetic.
It's a form of psychic power. It's just he's not telepathic.
Right.
A psychic can be a telepath or a telekinetic.
Yes.
It's like a square is a rectangle, but a rectangle's not a square type of thing.
Yes. I guess Espio just doesn't understand that. Like, Silver can't actually read his mind.
But you always seem to know what to say. Silver, for his part, I feel like would more than likely default to feeling like it's his fault.
No.
And then just get frustrated without having any kind of direction or answer to work from. Like, he'll apologize, just tell him what he did wrong. Talk to him. Well, if you're not going to talk to him, how is he supposed to fix this? Now you're making him frustrated.
Oh, the poor boys, they're fighting again. Don't let them do this, Ian. Would either of them get particularly jealous or protective?
Espio.
He doesn't even realize it at first, but yeah, he probably would.
Like, Silver's just naturally protective, but that's for everybody.
But that's just him normally.
Yeah, he's a natural protector. Everyone needs to be looked after in his mindset. Espio, I could see being like, he has something special here, and now that he has it, he really values it, and he's not going to let it go. And why is he hanging out with Blaze so much? I thought they were just partners.
Oh, no.
Business partners and like world saving or something.
No. Oh, well. Silver has two hands.
Hires Vector to investigate to see if Silver's cheating.
No! No!
Vector's like, you're an idiot. I'll take the case. And then he's just like,
I don't
casually hanging out with Silver and just straight up observing that, no, of course not. He still invoices Espio, but, you know, he takes the case to make sure nobody else gets some kind of weird misconception.
Oh, man. Oh. Vector, of course, would take the case because he's dumb enough to not take a case where he's going to get paid. And the last question, who's more likely to kill for their partner? We know they're kind of both ready for murder, but who does it first?
I guess whoever realizes they need to pull the trigger first. I think they're both, you know, ready to go.
It depends on what time period Silver is in, I suppose.
Like, who is imperiled and who realizes it first? I mean, the only real distinction is whether or not you're getting hit in the head with a kunai or a car.
Their first argument is about kill stealing.
It wasn't silent or elegant. I'm not a ninja, that's your thing. Trying to give you professional respect and some space. Come on.
It's true.
And then he said it's not like I can take his telekinetic attacks, and I took that personally. You physically can't. It's the principle of the matter. Sometimes I think you want this to fail.
Oh, no. Oh, man.
Listen to me, Espio. You either gotta sit down and talk this out with him, or I'm calling in Amy, and she's gonna fix this. I'll talk to him.
Never call in Amy. Don't call in Amy, please. Don't.
Then I'll have to acknowledge it's my fault. No.
I refuse. All right, that's all we got for this fun mini.
Thank you to Nate Ray for sponsoring this BumbleKast Mini. If you want one of your own, head over to patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, or become a YouTube member. Be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and we will see you next time on the BumbleKast.